All right, problem 27. We have a fifth degree equation with a leading coefficient of 9. And it's equal to 0, so I know I can solve this, find the solution. And the first thing I can do is notice that I can factor out something that is the same in several pieces. So if I look at the beginning here, I can see that I have a 9 in both of these. 72 has 8 nines, and this is just 1 9. And there are a couple of x's here, and in the first term there also are a couple of x's. In fact, there's extras. So the first term, we factor out a 9 and an x squared, and what's left over is an x cubed, because we have 5, 2 plus 3. We plus them when we multiply the bottoms, okay? And then minus, and then 9 times 8 would be the 72. And the x squared is all on the outside. And when I have the x cubed minus 8, I see that I can continue and do more. So I copy down this part, and I have to remember my formula and remember my SOAP, right? So this is that I have some number cubed minus another number. Whoops, I'll call that a b cubed. A cubed minus b cubed. And in this case, my a is x, and my b is just 2, because I do 2 times 2 times 2. That's my 8. Okay? So then I have my formula, which I already know, is a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And since I know that already, I can just write the numbers where they belong. So this is x, a is x, my b is 2, a is x, so a squared, plus 2 times x, plus, or that's a minus, right? Because it's got opposite, okay? And this one's a plus, and then b squared would be 4. So now I have 3 factors, kind of, the 9x squared, the x minus 2 piece, and the third factor. So I have 1 factor, 2 factors, 3 factors equals 0. That means one of these things, if one of these things is 0, this would be a true statement. So the first thing is, let's make this 0 and see what would x be to make this part 0. Okay, and when I do that, I see that 9x squared equals 0. If I divide by 9, some of you already see it and you don't have to do this. I get x squared equals 0. So I do the square root of both sides, and I see x equals plus or minus 0. Well, it's just 0, right? Okay, so x equals 0. That's one of my answers. I'm going to actually start a little solution set here and say 0 is my first solution. I'm going to see if there are more solutions. And since I already did this part, now I'm going to look at the second piece here and set that equal to 0. So I have x minus 2 equals 0. So x has to be equal to 2, because I can plus 2 on both sides. So 2 is my second solution. Okay. Then, because I'm crazy, I'm going to look at the third factor and set that equal to 0. And it's already shown to be equal to 0 here, so I'm just going to kind of go with that. So now I can't just subtract the 4, and because the x is in several different places. So what I need to do here is use some of the methods we learned and we practiced a lot about how to see if we can factor more or find solutions somehow to this quadratic equations. To solve this quadratic equation, I can first try and see, well, does it solve easily? Can I do 1 times 4 or 2 times 2? So we learned that, and nothing seems to give us this middle number, which is -2, right? It kind of doesn't look like a 2. -2. Nothing seems to give us -2 when we add them together. This gives us 4, this gives us 5. Okay, so that doesn't work. So the quadratic equation, quadratic formula is a nice way to solve a quadratic equation. So we memorized that, we used it a lot. So the quadratic formula, we're going to do minus b, so that's 2. Actually, where am I? Right here. Let's stick with blue. So 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared. -2 times -2 is 4. Minus 4 times a times c. A is just 1 times c. It's another 4. The thing is, it's over 2a. 2 times 1 is just 2. Under the radical, I have a negative number, so I know I'm going to have I. So I have 4 take away 16, which is -12. So I actually have the square root of 12 with a negative, which makes an I on the outside. We learned and practiced a lot. And then, so this is almost finished. This is almost my other two solutions, which I'm going to have here. 2 plus something over 2, 2 minus something over 2. So in this case, the square root of 12, you can even do that on your calculator, but so 4 times 3. So that means the 4 comes out and is a 2, and the 3 stays inside, right? We learned. So we have 2 square roots of 3 instead of the 12. I'm just going to kind of write it in there to save space right now. 2 square roots of 3. I could even put the 2 in the front, which I'm used to seeing. 2i square root of 3. And I'll bring the square root of 3 over a little closer. So these are 2 more solutions. One of them is, and we see all the 2's? Well, we can actually consider them as 1's. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm going to have 1 plus 1i times the square root of 3 over 2. Over 1, sorry. We said 1. We divided everything by 2. And the other solution is 1, and that's the minus 1 square root, 1i square root of 3. Let's make it nicer. Minus 1i square root of 3 over 1. Anything over 1 is just itself. We already knew that, so we don't even have to write that 1 on the bottom. And we should know that that is the solution. This is an I. Let's make it nice. Boom. Okay, boom. So how many solutions do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, there we are. One of them's probably a double root. Anyway, this one we did in class. This one, get everything on one side. I like the x to the 5th the way it is without a negative sign because I know that's the highest power. I know that's the leading coefficient is 1, and I want to have it in standard form, so I want the highest power first. We learned that. Minus 18x cubed, and opposite sign of minus is plus 81x equals 0. I added or subtracted everything to move it to the left side. I want to get rid of one of the x's if I can. I have an x to the 4th left over in there. If I pull one x out of all 3 of these terms and divide it out, then I have x to the 4th minus 18 x squared plus just 81 with no x in there, right? Equals 0. So I have 2 solutions here. One solution is the first thing. The first part here, I'm going to make this little divider line for you and say x equals 0. That's the first solution. I'll put it in my solution set. And the second solution is, well, I think I can continue that. In fact, I think I can factor that. Maybe. I'm going to try it. X squared, because I know x squared times x squared is x to the 4th power, right? Let's see if this works. So 81. 81, 1 times 81, 2, 3 times 27. I want to get negative 18, right? So 81 is 9 times 9. How about 9 times 9 is 81? Negative times negative 9 is also 81. And just guess what? Heck yeah, it's also adds up to negative 18. So I got minus 9 and minus 9 are the two numbers that I chose here. And that's a squared, by the way. Doesn't really look like it. Okay, so it looks like I can continue to factor those because they're a difference of two squares. That's x plus 3 times x minus 3. We did a lot of those, in fact, with this exact one, x minus 3, x plus 3. That's your difference of two squares because x squared and 3 squared, okay? So it looks like we got all kinds of solutions. Some of them are double roots, some of them are the same. Set everything equal to 0. So if I set this first thing equal to 0 here, I get x equals negative 3. For this one, I'll get x equals, for this one, I'll get x equals positive 3. And the same thing with this one, positive 3 and negative 3. So really, I have negative 3 and positive 3 are the other solutions that I have over here. And they're double root. Okay, so that's that. What else can we do? 31. These two, we can pull some stuff out of there, and these two, we can pull some stuff out of here. So the first two here, I think x can get out of there, and x squared actually can get out of there. What's left over? 2x plus 7. So we need to have a twin, 2x plus 7, if this is going to work. So how do we get the twin? We're going to have to take a negative 8, I think. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. Yeah. Negative 8 times 7 is negative 56. So one parentheses x squared minus 8, and the other one is x plus 7. And we have that solution set equals, so we have, so for the first parenthesis, the x squared minus 8, if we subtract 8 from both sides, we get x squared equals 8. This is one way you can do it. And then you can say, I've got a square root. So x equals plus or minus, don't forget your plus or minus, 2 square roots of 2. So we learned that. I think we did that right before. 2 square roots of 2. Let's make it look pretty. Okay, so minus 2 square roots of 2 and plus 2 square roots of 2 are two of the answers. And then we have the x plus 7, so we can split this up like this and say, okay, we have the x plus 7 also equal to 0. So we subtract 7 and we get x equals negative 7, which is the other solution. And you can make your brackets. They actually go like this. The brackets actually do something like this. You'll see them on your keyboard. Okay, so there's 3 solutions. Yay. Then we did that in class, and this is just the same as that, so.